you believe it? The longest, shortest year of all time is still rolling on. Hello, everyone. This is Flobo Boyce. You're locked into Draped in Gold, the unofficial NXT UK and NXT post show, right here on YouTube, streaming live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch right now, man, help a brother out. Hit that like button, follow, subscribe, whatever the people do on Twitch, all that stuff, you know? So as we break down every week NXT UK and NXT Prime, or America, whatever you want to call it, I am not alone. I'm being joined by the man who holds a microphone within the clutches of his hand. The man that worked from practically nothing to live the American dream. The man that's also the host of the Elite of the Week show, our sister program. Give it up for the real Jack Farmer.
Flobo, Boyce, I'm so glad to be here. I'm wearing my holiday coat. It's that time of year. We're winding down 2020, getting ready for 2021. How are we going to outdo this year? Next year, I feel like just showing up is enough.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what, you want explosions now? Like, what could possibly have happened this year that could be saved for next season? No idea. Gearing up for the holidays. I got my tree here for the past month. I'm so excited I actually celebrated this year. But what's also to celebrate is NXT UK is back with a jam-packed episode. Now, a lot of things happened here, but the big thing I want your opinions on is this. One of the most bizarre segments I've seen in a while. The Heritage Cup winner, A-Kid, comes to the ring and says, you know what? I represent Heritage. That's why I'm challenging the NXT champion, Walter. A man that beat his last opponent so bad, he took his contacts out. Jack, help me make sense of this. What is he thinking?
I thought to myself, I like A-Kid, but A-Kid, no, don't do this. Stop. For your own good, for your own health, for your own good, don't do this, A-Kid. What are you thinking, A-Kid? You had so much promise. You were supposed to be the chosen one. Why did you let this happen? I'll remember A-Kid fondly, but poor fella is about to have a very brutal and tough demise, I think. I think it's my fault, Flobo. I have to say it's my fault. I said on this program last week that the wrestler of the year was 2021, and I think that it just went straight to his head. I think it just blew up his ego, and he didn't realize that just because you're wrestler of the year doesn't mean that you're invincible. It doesn't mean that you're immortal. And now Walter's going to come in here, and he's Flobo. I just feel terrible.
Yeah, you know, I like A-Kid as much as the next guy. What up, Lars Newt? What up, Will 5 Stud Muffin? Shout out to the MLE, yo. I like A-Kid. I like Walter. And it makes sense on paper. Heritage Cup, guys all about heritage in the ring. This makes sense. But Walter will kill him right before he goes out for lunch. What is he doing? I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know how A-Kid can handle this match. I don't know if he lasts more than 5 minutes. I'm going to say A-Kid completely overshot expectations. If he lasts 5 minutes, if he lasts one round of Heritage Cup rules time, which isn't even 5 minutes, I'm going to say A-Kid overshot expectations. A-Kid, I love what you've done. I loved what he did with the Heritage Cup, but I think the little fish has just jumped into the big pond.
That is a bad idea. Next, we'll have the A-Kid Memorial Heritage Cup right after that match. But let's talk about the main event. The NXT UK Tag Team Championships were on the line with Gallus Boys on top, taking on The Hunt with your boy Eddie Dennis at ringside. Now, you've told me for weeks how awesome The Hunt is, how uncrowned champion they are. But it wasn't to be, Jack Farmer, because Gallows Boys once again proved why they're on top.
This was such a shame. Eddie Dennis, just a master class in putting together amazing teams and getting them where they need to go. The smartest man in the business today. Unfortunately, half the tag team division came out and robbed The Hunt of a match they should have won. They were robbed, Flobo. We all saw it. I don't know what that referee was doing. I don't know where they were looking, but they just saw a complete travesty happen in the ring at NXT UK. We talk about heritage, Flobo. I can't believe that the heritage was besmirched the way it was
besmirched
today.
Besmirched.
The Hunt. have been robbed. And I think Eddie Dennis, if I know him the way I know him, he is right now in the war room strategizing how to take on the whole division, because apparently the whole division is so scared of the Hunt that they're teaming up together to stop him.
Well, I gotta give it up to Will 5 Study. Says I'm still not convinced about the Hunt, which is a fair assessment because they were kind of lounging in that tag team division before your boy Eddie Dennis gave him the opportunity, made some calls, signed some contracts. Is Johan off his rocker by saying I'm not quite sold on these guys that named themselves after animals?
Not everyone is going to realize a perfect teaming when it happens right away. I get it. I get not seeing it right away. But that's the thing. You're right. The Hunt on their own are not the real deal. It's the pairing of Eddie Dennis with them that makes them the real deal. It's the symbiotic relationship. They talked about it today on commentary. You've got the brains. You've got the brawn. You've got another brawn, just in case the first brawn isn't enough. That's what makes them perfect. That's what makes them an elite killing machine. That's what makes them the NXT UK uncrowned tag team champions that they are, that they proved. I say they won today. I think if not for the fact that the referee was in the wrong place at the wrong time, that they'd be the champions right now. And I think even Gallus knows that.
I don't know, man. I feel like Gallus, this new, more, I don't know, relatable Gallus. I don't want to say protagonist. I'm not going to use that word, babyface. But I do think they seem a lot more fun than past. I want them to reign long. I want to buy a Gallus shirt after this. And frankly, there was no change of title. But there might be a change in the women's division. Even though Kaylee Ray showed and proved why she's still the women's champion, in 3 weeks' time, it's official. Piper Niven will take on Ginny in a match I know you're Team Ginny about, which I don't knock, because you think Piper Niven is totally ham-fits her way to being a number one contender candidate. But to be fair, Ginny has been trolling Piper with that chair. So who do you got, Piper Niven or Ginny? And has to change your mind.
Piper Niven is the worst. Just the worst. Can you imagine? First off, she's one of those people that records her own workouts. I mean, come on, that's the worst. Two, she's one of those people,
Why? Wait, why?
She's one of those people that makes you watch long videos on her phone while she holds her phone, and that is just the worst. Tell me that's not the worst. Could you imagine anyone walking up to you, Flobo, and being like, watch this workout video I did of myself while I hold the phone in front of you for 2.5 minutes? It's the worst, Flobo. How can anyone cheer this person? That is the worst thing in the world when someone says, I'm going to hold my phone while you watch a video of me working out. That's just terrible.
I hate the
defend it.
I hate the fact you use that logic because I can't defend it. It's right. When someone does that, I really hate that. Damn it, Jack, you changed my mind. I hope Ginny wins. Jack was right. Jack was right.
Ginny would never do that, by the way.
No, she doesn't have time for that. Yeah. Well, it's worse when it's memes, right? Like, I saw that one like 3 years ago, Mom. What are you doing? But yeah, I'm looking forward to that match, man. I really feel like whoever wins this match, Piper Niven or Ginny, may be able to change the tide in Kaylee Ray's title run, because, as wrestling logic goes, the minute you say, get used to this, I'm a champ for a long time, that's a kiss of death, is it not?
Kaylee Ray didn't say she was going to be the champ for a long time. She said she was going to be the champ forever, which is what I've been saying, forever. Now, that is a long time, but it's also for all of time. Kaylee Ray, look, they said it today on commentary. Nigel made the very astute point. It's more about what happens before the bell rings than after the bell rings sometimes. And no one is better in the business before the bell rings than Kaylee Ray is. That's why she's been the champion longer than anybody else. That's why even Sasha Banks is like, dang, Kaylee Ray is killing it. I don't know if those were her exact words, but I think it was something quite similar.
Damn, she is killing it.
Dang.
Because Sasha Banks is actually a 40-year-old old person now.
How dare you say that?
I can say that because I'm not 40 yet. But once I turn 40, 40 is still young, guys. I'll totally flip-flop for as long as I'm old as I am.
Kaylee Ray is going to hold the title forever. Why? Because what's going to happen? Piper Niven's going to challenge again and lose again. for the third time since they restarted. I mean, come on. No one's coming her way that she can't handle.
It's true. Speaking of someone you can't handle, Isla Dawn, who's on a little bit of a winning streak of 1, got stopped by Kaylee Ray in a very convincing matchup. Now, we have talked about Isla Dawn before, because if you believe in win-loss records like some promotions do, she would not be very favorable. But here's somebody, she's being put with almost everyone, almost like a level 1 boss character. If you were the Phantom GM with Isla Dawn, is she in the right place, in your opinion? Or would you like move her up, have her with more opportunities, have her more matches?
Well, this is exactly what you're supposed to do, and this is why they do such a good job of putting the matches together in NXT UK. You go with the hot hand. It's an old saying, Flobo. When someone's on fire, you let them have a shot. She just got a huge win, and Kaylee Ray, being the fighting champion she is, being the role model that she is, well, I guess role model is a term that is reserved for someone else within the WWE, but you know what I'm saying. Where she's someone that you can look up to, she's someone you can look up to, and she says, look, this person is the hot hand. She's on a streak. She got a big win. I'm going to be a fighting champion. I'm going to defend this title, and I think Kaylee Ray did a great job of that. Isla Dawn came up just a little bit short, but I think if you're on TV and you're having matches, you're doing the right thing.
I'm on to you. I'm really on to you. But speaking of streaks, and this one's kind of surprising. Saxon Huxley was in the match against both Jack Stars and Levi Muir, and I really thought Levi Muir and Jack Stars would be in the losing in this contest, but they actually won, and Saxon Huxley, true to form, went berserk. But with a big but, Jack Farmer's picked to win the Heritage Cup. Balmer Dave Massive shows up to fend off Saxon Huxley off of Jack Stars and Levi Muir. A lot of things to pull from this one. 1, hey, looks like your man Massive has a matchup. 2, Saxon Huxley hasn't quite won a match, for I can tell, except for maybe a one contest against a non-name talent. He's been pretty much in an unfavorable position. And 3, Levi Muir and Jack Stars. A lot of things happening in this segment, Jack. Walk me through it.
Yeah. Levi Muir and Jack Stars are the #1 contenders for the 2-on-1 championship, and I can't wait to see them fight for that.
Hold on, what? It's like 2 halves of 1 belt?
They're the best 2-on-1 match. Have you ever seen a 2? Yeah, I've never seen a 2-on-1 handicap match where the team of 2 wins. I don't remember one. Have you seen it happen before? They're clearly the best in the history of the world at it, so they should. Well, I guess that actually just happened on SmackDown, didn't it? Raw, when Keith Lee got pinned.
Ms. Morrison.
So Ms. Morrison, Jack Stars, Levi Muir happening at TLC. We all want to see it, but you got to pay for that match. That one's too good. Even though it's 2-on-2, we're going to call it the 2-on-1 handicap match championship.
Nice. Already the asterisk, Jack. He's already going to change the rules.
Right. Yeah, the New Day are watching like, what is this? The championship? But, you know, I look at Huxley right now, and I think I want to give some advice to someone who's incredibly intelligent and knows what they're doing. Maybe this is already on their mind. Maybe it's already on their radar. But Eddie Dennis, you have a talent for taking uncontrollable people who are completely powerful and harnessing that energy and making them championship contenders. Eddie Dennis, I implore you, visit Saxon Huxley, visit him and chat with him and bring him on board. Make him a champion. Make him unstoppable. Give him the focus that you gave the Hunt, and you can have the most powerful faction within NXT UK like that. That is how you make a super team right there. Eddie Dennis, Saxon Huxley, you guys got to work together. That's how you make power, Flobo. And as far as Mastiff goes, how dare he? What a jerk. He comes out and beats up on a guy who already got double teamed. What is he doing? How are we supposed to like a guy that watches someone get double teamed, beat up, loses, and then he comes out there to pick a fight with them. Mastiff, you're better than that. Come on.
So had that segment ended where it was, I will agree with you completely. I felt like I was out of character for Mastiff to do that. But that exchange with Rampage Brown, Rampage's like, oh, I like the way you held up for those guys. He's like, I'm here to fight anybody, is going back to his Heritage Cup persona. Really for the power of his spirit, the purity of the sport. I'm all about him beating up people to prove a point. So why not?
The purity of the sport, beating someone up after a match, after they just got double teamed, the purity of the sport.
Yeah.
That's why you like the fact that the tag team division ganged up on the Hunt. You think there's purity in double teaming people? You think there's purity in ganging up on people and attacking them when they're down? Flobo, come on, you're better than that.
Are you saying there's not purity in doing that?
Not at all. I think that I've always been a believer, and you can check the tape. I've always believed in pure one-on-one competition and doing things the right way.
Yeah. So wait, what? So you mean to tell me that you and all the farmer clan are out for a picnic? I come through your picnic unannounced and punch your bro in the face and walk away. You must be like, well, one-on-one contest. Get up there, Rick Farmer, and fight him yourself. No, you're gonna jump in. You're gonna jump in to preserve your brand, to fend off the relevancy of your brand. Why not?
If I see two guys beating you up, I'm not going to go run in there and then help them beat you up. That's not purity.
You don't help at all.
That's gang warfare. Yeah, I would be trying to sell something on the commercial break.
Jack, help me! What's that? I have no idea what's going on.
Thanks, stranger. Bye.
I can't with you, Dylan.
I did find it funny that Mastiff was like, yeah, I don't like people beating up on people. And then Rampage goes and beats up on some guy.
Hey, man, you got to do it. Dylan Mathis, I'm in the Farmer Clan.
That's right. Farmer Clan, apparently we're guys that go and get cars for people. But
yeah. You're a Mercedes, sir.
This is my holiday jacket. It makes me feel like the holidays, so I wear it during December.
Yeah, Dylan, get over it. No,
yeah. Bah humbug, Scrooge.
Question I want to ask you, because you are a fan of the All Elite Arts, the other show on Wednesday night. Ben Carter had a promo this week talking about how he's a high prospect signing, which it was interesting that he got people like Ashton Smith in the video, my breakout star of the next year. Thoughts about Ben Carter joining the WWE fold, 1, and NXT UK, 2.
I think it's great. I've heard a lot of good things about Ben Carter. Honestly, I'm not going to pretend that I'm someone who's followed his career so far. I don't really know a whole lot about him, but every time I hear about him, I hear about how he's going to be the next big thing and how he's going to be great. And you can see the fact that NXT UK is promoting him this way. It means that they feel the same way. They obviously feel that they've got something big on their hands there. He was trained by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is talking about how great he is. It seems to be that everything's looking good for him. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see him in the ring. Hype is always great. And, potential is always great. But what's even better than that is following through and doing it in the ring. So I'm excited to see it.
Ooh, you know who also had a potential welcome was Rampage Brown, was in action this week. Gets a very game Josh Morrell. Didn't work out in his favor for good old Josh, but Rampage Brown is, we've seen him about 3 or 4 times. I don't know. Are you still on board? Are you feeling he's heating up? You think he needs direction? What's your assessment, sir?
Rampage Brown is quickly ascending to the level of being one of the hardest hitting, toughest guys in NXT. And when I say that, it's not something that's silly or willy-nilly or thrown around. That means I am pairing him up with guys like Joe Coffey, with guys like Walter as some of the hardest hitting, meanest dudes on the brand. I think he has the firepower to go to war with these guys. And I'm ready to see him move out of this establishing role where we're kind of figuring out who he is. I want to see him go to war, Flobo. I want to see him trade blows with the biggest and baddest. I want to see him in the ring with Joe Coffey. I want to see him in the ring with Walter. I want to see him take all of this stuff that we can tell he has and see if it works against the biggest.
Yeah, I like him. He has all the tools, and he definitely has that kind of vibe that if you saw him in real life, you probably will get your ass beat. But I'm looking for something a bit more from him. Shout out to Evangelina. Was definitely a friend and fan of the show. Thanks for coming back on Draped and Gold. Remember the time she was on one of our after shows? Great times. Before we get out of here, just your thoughts about Trent Seven. He like Ilya Dragunov is going through some stuff, and he will come back soon. What's that look like to you?
I think he does such a good job of conveying emotion and creating weight to everything that's happening. And you can tell he's really taking a lot of what he went through and internalizing it and learning from it and trying to use that to better prepare himself for the next time around. I think he's so good on a microphone and on camera and conveying emotion, which is really what this entire thing is about, is conveying emotion. I thought it was great. I don't know what's next for him, but I think he executed whatever he was trying to execute there perfectly, because I'm fascinated to see what he does next.
Man, it'd be kind of a letdown if he goes away for 3 months and comes back with a chair. You know? Right. It's a new Trent Seven. Just like, what?
I did want to say, you mentioned Ashton Smith. I was not happy about them coming out and messing with Pretty Deadly, who were looking dynamite in those amazing outfits today. Came out looking like the cast of Interview with a Vampire, and they got cut short by your boys there. I don't like that one bit, Flobo.
So hold on, you turn on NXT UK for the fashion? That's why you're upset? It's a fighting program. You're right. I apologize. We got to move on to NXT Prime, but before that, Jack Farmer, you know, I picked a bad week to get rid of that energy drink stuff in my life. Is there any kind of alternative I should know about?
I disagree, Flobo. I think you picked the perfect week to get rid of that energy drink stuff you've been drinking, all the sugar and all the garbage that's in it. Why don't you drink something that's good and good for you? I'm talking about coffee from Broasters, the best single-origin organic roasted weekly coffee you can get, and you can get it at www.thebroasters.com using promo code BROCODE1.
You know, I just want to say, I did miss the after shows there, Evangelina. Here's the deal, Jack. A lot of things happen on NXT Prime. Dealer's choice, though. What's the one that's tickling your fancy the most?
What's the tickling that I'm enjoying the most on
oh, wait, that's going to be a GIF. Damn it. I should have done that. I'm sorry, Dylan. No. Yes. The most ticklish part.
You know, right now, honestly, it's Xia Li. I'm interested in what's going on with Xia Li and Boa right now. I want to know what's happening next. I want to know. I'm loving how this story is escalating every time. We went from them just being sort of broken down to then beaten down, and now they're beating each other down, and we're seeing that they're having their hearts just frozen solid, so that when they get back in this ring, they're going to be cold-blooded, Flobo. They're going to be so dangerous. I'm so excited, and I have a theory on who the long-haired person is.
Go on.
I'm going to make a prediction, Flobo. I think it's Kairi Sane. I think Kairi Sane is going to be the person behind all this.
Wait, but then that just throws me off. Like, granted, my pick of Scarlett is even worse at this point. But like, why would Kairi even do that? Like, what would be her thing? Like, what would be the angle? She's so nice.
She used to be a sky pirate. She can do whatever she wants. It's great. Who cares?
That is true.
Just roll with it.
You just knocking my logic out the water today, Jack. She showed the picture of her phone working out. Yeah, she's a pirate. Right. Fine.
I mean, to be fair, Kairi Sane could pretty much do anything, and we'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. I like it.
That's cool. Yeah, she had a treasure. She had actual gold coins in the next thing. No, just like me, I know there's bigger things on that brand that happened last night, but like when that segment came on, I remember like eating popcorn, being like, "Oh no, we got to see what's happening here." And I don't want to go into the whole oeuvre of things, but the dynamic of the human struggle of someone withstanding pain and the psychological damage of someone having to give that pain is absolutely Shakespearean, man. I'm all about it. Well, though, I will say there's only about 2 weeks for that you could do until you go, all right, what's next? But for now, I'm loving it. And it's perfect for the holidays.
But that's what I mean. It's escalating. Like, it started off with them first just being kind of emotionally broke down, and then them getting beaten, and now them beating themselves or beating each other. So what will be the next thing for her, you know, or for – it's funny. Boa's getting beat up just as bad, but we keep saying the Xia Li story.
Who cares about Boa before
that? It's like, me too. We're like, whatever, Bo.
He was the other guy. It's like,
just let her kick you and shut up.
It's like back when Ray J was Brady's brother, like, I know, you hang out.
But yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see where it goes. Yeah, I agree. It's got to go somewhere eventually. But for now, when it comes on, you feel it. Like, you definitely get a different feeling when you're watching that part of the show. True.
And before we go into the main events of this evening, I'm talking about my favorite segment. I need to know about my second favorite segment. And this one is a little bit of a doozy, but hear me out, man. In a match that I couldn't have planned because no one else did, Tommaso Champa was out there with Tyler Rust in an absolute Nuevo classic. You see, when I see matches with talent that are very vanilla, I won't use the J word here, I kind of thought this would have been an easy contest for Champa to win. But Tyler Rust gave us a display of and showcase of his moves. He looks like a future's bright. He has great stamina. Could this be the next NXT star?
He looked every bit the star in this match. I mean, he's jacked. He looks good. He wrestled really, really well. He's a veteran, so he's been doing this for a long time. So this isn't just some flash in the pan situation. I think he completely caught Champa off guard here. I think he could be a star. I mean, again, we talk about potential versus actually doing it in the ring. And this was one match. It was a show-stealing match. I think it was a star-making match. I think we are all interested in seeing what he does next. But you got to do it more than once, right?
True.
You got to do it. You got to do it again and 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 again. So, are my hopes up? Yes. Am I really excited about what I saw from him? Yes. Do I want to see more of him? Yes. Now he's got to continue it.
Thoughts about him with Bivens potentially?
That was interesting to me because I think that could be really cool. Bivens is entertaining, which is always a good thing. And I think having someone like that to sort of latch your cart to is great. The first thing I thought of, though, is why wasn't Robert Stone out there? Robert Stone is the manager of NXT. Why hasn't he shown up to try to claim some more talent instead of cutting all these little promos on social media? I think they're entertaining. I think his suits look great. But right now, Malcolm Bivens is the one doing the actual work, and he's about to get usurped as the premier manager in NXT. If you're Robert Stone brand right now, you've got to be wondering, are you doing the right work?
Oh, man, someone clip that out and tag Robert Stone. I can't wait to see what he says about you when he gets around to this.
He's going to make fun of my suit.
Probably. He has very high standards.
He's going to say I look like a person. What do you call those? The people that get cars?
Valets at Hogwarts. That's what.
Valets at Hogwarts. That's it. Yeah.
You're a broom, sir.
Or a flight attendant of some kind.
Oh yeah. I see that. So can I get more?
It's my holiday coat.
I was all for it. Look, I'm all about it too. Jack Farmer Day. I'm all about it. Please don't hurt me.
Yeah, that's a dynamite. That's a great looking sweatshirt you have on, by the way.
Yeah. Wait, Jack, remember that site I got it from? Can you tell me?
I believe you got it at realjackfarmer.threadless.com, where you can get that as well as T-shirts and other fun stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. It feels majestic. Thank you so much for referring me to that. We're pros. Stuck the landing. So let's talk about the other side of this. Now, Tommaso Champa is in this brand. I am not the biggest fan of Tommaso Champa. I made that clear. Not knocking the wrestler, not knocking his accolades, but sometimes, and it happens in any kind of fictional work, you may not connect with a character on screen. Please do not flame me in the chats. Please don't at me, bro. I'm just saying it's not really my favorite character. But that aside, Jack, personal feelings aside about the man, he is kind of just there in this card. Johnny Gargano is in the North American title division. Damian Priest has a match against Karrion Kross's return. You know what Finn Balor's doing. Ciampa's really the last bastion of what they call the NXT Prime era, and he's kind of facing new guys in Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like he's a guy kind of lost, it feels like. And he's someone who became so great. I'm a fan of him. I love this whole psycho that is obsessed with getting the title, and he'll hurt and kill everybody to get it. No one will survive. We all scream at the top of our lungs when he comes out to the ring. Yet here he is. It's like he's now slumming it, picking on the lower tier guys. Why isn't he going after the title anymore? Why isn't he doing things for the title that made him who he was? This feels like it feels a little bit like Karrion Kross punked him and choked him out, and now he's scared to swim with the big fish, and he's trying to find guys who are below him so that he can still feel like a dominant person. If you're going to be on the black and gold brand, you can't be there just to pick on guys. You need to be there to be the champion. And I don't know why he's not doing that anymore. He feels lost. He feels like he doesn't have a direction to go. And right now, if I'm Timothy Thatcher, I'm angry too. What are you doing picking on me? Go after the title. That's what Thatcher wants to do. Thatcher wants to go after titles. Everyone else wants titles. What are you doing coming after, Thatcher, coming after the new guy? Why are you doing these? Like, you should be in the ring with Karrion Kross. That's what you should be doing right now. Why are you picking on these little guys?
That's fair. If anything, the guy did choke you out. Like, even if you have this mission of going after the weak, changing cultures of NXT, to let a guy choke you out, leave. Well, guy choke you out, become NXT champion, and come back and beat somebody else up. You just sit there watching like, Austin Gray, you want to go? It's kind of weird,
Yeah, I'm here to take out all the fake tough guys. Oh, Karrion Kross is back. No. Who's someone who's never having a match yet? Austin Gray, come here. You and me. Really? Because Karrion Kross is right here, and he needs something he wants a match. No.
I just imagine, it's weird. I imagine that's your Champa impression, but also your Batman impression.
I have 3 voices, so everyone's imitation comes down to 3 different sounds.
Batarang. All right, so
That's also my Kairi Sane impression.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's on brand. Oscar, let's do it.
Oscar, I am Oscar.
So our show opens up with a tag team match, now officially called The Wwe with graphic. Austin Theory and Johnny Gargano had a match against Leon Ruff and the #1 wrestler in Flobito's NXT book, Kushida. Guaranteed Gargano in theory actually won the match, but whatever. Kushida was on, man. The entrance was great. He was already in the ring. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love everything about Kushida. Love the way and what they're doing, even though the result didn't go my way. But the #1 question I have for you, besides your thoughts on the matchup, Jack, is the Leon Ruff party over?
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because this is really where the rubber meets the road for Leon Ruff. Like, this is where we find out what he really is. He came in, he got lucky. He got a lucky win, became the champion, and that's became what he was. Is he a joke champion, or is he not a joke champion? I'll let everyone else decide. I'll let my dog Russell decide. But
joke.
But this is where now we see what he really is. Now that we're not hanging our hat on a fluke win, now we're seeing what he really is. Does he really stand up? He didn't. At the end of the day, Austin Theory yelled the way and hit him with the most complicated finishing move I've ever seen in my life. But I don't know. This is the time where he needs to really prove himself, especially as new talent is coming on, taking on Tommaso Champa on the same show. It's like they say, you're not there to earn a spot, you're there to take a spot, and he's got to take someone's spot very quickly. I do want to say, the way, just so impressive. So good. The way that Johnny Gargano has been able to completely reinvent himself and create this amazing group of people. Before this, Austin Theory was lost. Before this, Indy Hartwell was a complete unknown. Now look at everyone. They're so successful. Austin Theory has gotten out of his own head. He's not the immature kid he was once before. He's now a talented and focused wrestler. Flobo, we've called Johnny many things, but I think it's time to start calling him Johnny Mentor.
No. And that does it for us. Well, first things first, I just want to say that of all the finishes I've seen in my life, and if you guys have YouTube open, let's say if you have YouTube. You have YouTube open after the show, check out Byron Saxon's finishing move when he was a talent NXT. It is the most weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But Austin Theory is up there. Now, I poo-pooed Gargano when he was trying to do like the sinister stuff. When he was doing the Damian Priest, doing the Karrion Kross, the black and white things at his dinner table, like the the Nosferatu German expressionism evil character. But this super trainer mix of like Simon Dean of the old days and Carolee Heel stuff totally fits him because he's undersized. Not knocking him, he just happens to be short. Please don't tag him in that. I think it works for him, and he's also being a nice incubator for younger talent. Indy Hartwell and Austin Theory. My problem is that the way is going to have too many parts that are disparate. Like, what does Austin Theory have to do with Indy Hartwell? What does Candice LeRae have to do with Austin Theory? I don't know. It is like Pat McAfee's group. You kind of see the bruiser through line. This does seem like a motley crew.
That's why you never see greatness when greatness is right in front of you, Flobo. Johnny Gargano, Johnny Mentor, as I'm going to start calling him, because I think that's more apropos for what he's doing.
Why, though?
He sees these people that have what it takes, but just need a little bit of guidance, just need to be a part of the right kind of family. And that's what he provides for them and allows them to grow. See, you're one of those people, you're a front runner, Flobo. You like to find people who have already made it, who have already become stars and be like, oh, that person's great.
No.
You don't like to find the people before they've made it like Johnny Gargano does and believes in them and finds out who the real stars are that just like little plants, just need to be watered a little bit, just need to be fed a little bit, and they can grow into mighty oaks. That's why you were like, as soon as Leon Ruff won the title, you're like, Leon Ruff is great. Now he lost the title, and you haven't mentioned him once, Flobo. I see right through you.
First of all, that's my first question. I asked if the party was over. And second of all, if you've been watching AfterBuzz, or you've been watching Draped in Gold, or Wrestling with the Questions, or Wrestling with Wrestling, or Lead the Week, or any of the shows we're on, that's like my jam. I was an advocate for King Cesaro, the last King of the Ring. I was a Bayley fan when no one else wanted to be. I pop every time Jessie Kamea comes out, and ain't nobody her fan right now. You can't tell me I'm a front-runner fan. If anything, I'm the opposite. I'm just like so craft beer about it. I'm annoying people. Caden Carter was my breakout talent last year. Come on, Jackery, you're killing me.
You're sitting here like, oh, I like Bayley. Yeah, like the longest reigning women's champion in recent
she
memory.
Was.
Oh, what a
she is.
eye for talent before they've made it. Oh, I like Cesaro. He was king of the ring. Oh, great. The guy who won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You sure picked him early before he hoisted a trophy. Oh,
I did.
Jessie Kamea, of course, the person who's finally dating someone like Swerve. This is like you're so quick to jump on these bandwagons, Flobo. It's embarrassing.
I built the bandwagons. Let's go to the comments, man, because I'm going to choke you out through virtual means. Dylan Matthews says two things. If Kushida doesn't win the NA title from Gargano, he'll be pissed off, but he will admit that Gargano has been interesting now than he ever has been in a couple of years, and Hartwell's a star. And as far as the way, Johan Pena says the name is stupid. LOL, which I agree with. The way, how do you trademark that? No idea.
This is the way.
Yes, that's a Mandalorian quote.
But yeah, I don't think Kushida's going to win the title. I think if he was going to win the title, then the version we saw today, which is from the future, would have been holding the title when they came back to have this match.
Leave him alone. Just because he can travel through time, you can't. Doesn't mean to be all salty about it. Or jelly. Let's talk about our second of three main events here, the hour one main event. The number one contendership, I guess, even though it wasn't billed as much. Kyle O'Reilly, KO, some are saying is getting his due, had a match against Pete Dunne. I'm going to ask you your thoughts about the match. But before I do, I had a bit of an argument with, a discussion on text, it ain't an argument, with a friend of mine who does not like or doesn't identify with Big E. That says that he has no talent, he's going to flounder on SmackDown forever. I disagree with that part. But what I did realize is that I felt his trajectory is very similar to Kyle O'Reilly's, in that there's a group, there's an overarching brand, but now you have a second character being elevated. Is that a fair assessment, or is Flobo once again off his rocker?
I like Big E to start. I mean, I get where the comparisons are, but I think everything you said is kind of where the comparisons of the two end, being kind of the secondary person in a group that is now finally getting the time to shine. As far as this match goes, I have the people I like. I have the teams I like. I have the people I want to win. And, I always talk about appreciating greatness is why it's here. And I have to be honest with you, man, this match, it was greatness. It was great. Regardless of who you like, regardless of who you hate, This was hard hitting. I thought the way that they went hold for hold with each other, it was incredibly well done. It was an incredible match to watch. And as much as I love Pete Dunne and as much as I wanted Pete Dunne to go on to have a match with Finn Balor, they had a phenomenal match here tonight. And I think Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor is going to be a great show when it comes on. I can't argue it, Flobo.
You raise a good point, though, about the hold for hold and map-based wrestling. I know there seems to be a bit of a backlash to the, I don't want to call it this because it's kind of derisive, but the Shawn Michaels style of wrestling, right? There's an independent wrestling style. We're getting a lot more contrarian stuff. FTR's made a career out of that. What we're seeing now is a little bit of a hybrid thing. These guys have the stamina to do these suicidas and they do these flips and stuff, but they choose to have these map-based things. Now, is this a prototype for the future? Is it just kind of a special thing they do with this chemistry of this match? What do you make out of that?
I think it's a bit of both. I think you're going to see more of it, but I think these guys are just special talents. So I don't think you're going to find that many people that can replicate this. So I don't know if we'll see a whole lot of it in the future. I think it's great, though. It was mat-based wrestling that was fast-paced and fun to watch. Because the problem with mat-based wrestling is that it's boring in most cases, to be quite frank. I know some people love it, and that's cool, but I think when most people think of mat-based wrestling, they imagine a guy in a sleeper hold for 5 minutes. Where this was, but it was holds, but they were moving, they were transitioning, they were hitting each other, they would get up. Like, it didn't stop the momentum of the match, and that's what made it really special. So will we see more of it in the future? I think that bar is getting raised. I think there's very few people, though, like I said, that are really going to be able to do that kind of style that well, that quickly.
Sure. Dylan Matthews says here, Big E was always a star of the New Day. Kyle O'Reilly wasn't always necessarily the people's first choice. Very spicy take there, Dylan. I'm not sure if I agree or disagree, but it's a cool take. I like that. Big E being the number one star of the big day. Because, I mean, my compatriot, Evan Mack, when before New Day was founded, he would say Big E was a bona fide star, and this might be a half step being written off as his comedy gimmick. Whereas I was always a Kofi guy. The story goes, I legit thought he was Caribbean the first 3 months he was on theve. So I've always been a fan of him. Thought he was like, oh, finally, like a Caribbean wrestler. Oh, wait, he's from Baltimore. All right. Whatever. Yeah. So I guess my perspective is skewed. That's why I can't agree or disagree. Last question about this match, though. We were talking about this earlier today about Pete Dunne's stock if he was in UK versus NXT US. I felt that he was in a good role in UK as like this player coach character, but on NXT he's always seems to be a guy right outside the main event. The NXT title, he's a former 3-time number one contender for that title and has never won it. Is this the one that always gets away for Pete Dunne?
It's starting to look that way, but Pete Dunne's not an old fella. He's got plenty of time. I think he'll get it eventually. I do think he's kind of look. I love NXT UK. It's one of my favorite watches of the week right now. But I do feel like he's kind of outgrown NXT UK. He's kind of in a situation almost like a Champa, where if you're not going after the title, what are you doing? But we just also saw him recently have a year plus reign as the champion. Do we want to see another year plus reign?
I do.
I want to see him as a year plus reign, but I want to see him as a year plus reign with the NXT title. I'm ready to see something new. That's I think the difference of where Champa is versus where Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne has said, cool, I've done this now to go on to the next thing. Champa isn't going on to the next thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And look, I love NXT. I'm not saying he necessarily needs to go one way or the other, but I think we need to see him elevate, not step down.
I like that. Is it weird if an American talent goes to UK? Like how Cassius Ohno did?
It depends who it is. I think it'd be fine, but it would definitely depend who it is. I think it'd have to be someone a little on the lesser known side, so it doesn't feel like an American is coming over there to start beating. You know what I mean? I feel like it would be a little bit of a slap in the face to UK if an American went over there and just started beating people.
Yeah.
Where
if Austin Theory went, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I think Austin Theory is a good example of someone who could go over there and have matches and things like that. But if Ciampa went over there and then won the title, we'd be a little bit like, oh, okay. You're trying to Americanize it. You know what I mean?
Colonializing UK wrestling. I'm terrible. Don't put the.
You learned it from watching you, UK.
That's a promo. It's like, I read books. No one will survive. Dexter Lumis is now the host of NXT New Year's Evil. Not much to talk about there, but he had a spotlight on him, a la heel Batista. So I got to move on from that real quick. But one match that didn't have a finish was your girl, Indy Hartwell, had a match against Shotzi Blackheart. And the DQ makes sense. We've already established that Shotzi is going to be one of the major players in the women's division for the foreseeable future. But Indy Hartwell, it looks like her trajectory is pretty much sped up. She's going to be pretty much thrown to the lions here by the way and have her sink or swim. Thoughts about that?
Why do you think she's getting TV time, Flobo? Why do you think she's getting matches? Why do you think she is in a position where she was not even on television, but now in the ring with someone who's hosting multiple shows, a constant person in the conversation for women's champion, Shotzi Blackheart? Why has she been elevated so quickly? The way, the Gargano way, the Johnny Mentor way, the Candice Lamentor way. That's why she's there. It's just more evidence of how great this team is and how beneficial it is to everyone around. I think the story here, though, is just how big of a shame it is that Indy Hartwell is having this opportunity. She's got this match. She's finally getting a chance to shine. And you just see another one of these old veterans like Shotzi Blackheart take the opportunity to break Candice LeRae's trophy that she won for winning War Games. I thought it was just selfish. I thought it was just rude. I can't believe that instead of giving the opportunity for a young talent to shine and just having a straight-up match the way Champa had earlier, Shotzi had to say, I'm going to use this opportunity to break something that's very important to Candice LeRae. It was just petty.
Oh, yeah, petty. Totally unprovoked.
Yeah.
She had to build a tank with her own hands over the past 2 months because Candice broke her last one, but she's being petty.
She has to drive a tank to the ring. She has to. Yes. No one else does. No one else has it. She literally brings a weapon of mass destruction to the ring, and you're like, well, that's okay.
That's
poor thing.
Yeah, poor thing.
That's ridiculous. Flobo, what's next? We're gonna start seeing Austin Theory drive to the ring in some Mad Max murder car? No, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous for him, but
Shotzi
anyone else would be cool.
Shotzi Blackheart is just completely beyond understanding what kind of company she works for. She's a wrestler. She's not a tank driver. She's not a trophy destroyer. She's supposed to be in there having matches, and this was a young girl, Indy Hartwell's dream opportunity, and Shotzi ruined it.
Dylan Mathers also in the chat says looks like to be late spring 2022, he thinks Indy Hartwell will be a NXT women's champion. True or false?
If she keeps following the way, there's nothing that can stop her.
So Candice will let her go. Candice will say, sure. She'll step aside.
Everything about the Garganos has been about growing community. It's been about growing each other and helping to create and foster strong, talented relationships. I absolutely think that Candice LeRae just wants to see the best woman win.
Speaking of women winning, Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley renews their rivalry this time. The reverse protagonist/antagonist. I'm still worried about Toni Storm. I feel she came back at the same time as Ember Moon. Their characters are incredibly similar. Granted, they look physically different. I can't tell them apart as far as if I were to describe new Toni Storm or new Ember Moon to someone who hasn't seen wrestling. But Toni Storm gets the win because Raquel Gonzalez still has beef with Rhea Ripley. I've been looking on Twitters. I've been looking on social media. They're saying, one person, guess Twitter is saying, the bird is saying, Rhea Ripley is losing this match because she may be on course to win the Royal Rumble. Thoughts?
It does feel like she might end up in the Royal Rumble, or she might end up on a different roster very soon. I'm sort of getting those vibes as well. I don't know if that means she's going to win the Royal Rumble. I have my opinions on the Royal Rumble. I don't believe it's for people who are new or coming in or anything like that. It's for the people you already know are going to win. So I disagree with her winning the Rumble, but being in the Rumble, I could definitely see happening.
So that Bianca Belair spot where she loses, but she gets over, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Rhea's on something."
Yeah, I could see that happening. But yeah, the Royal Rumble, and I say this every year because everyone thinks that the Royal Rumble is this chance to create a star or something. It's not about that. It's about the person who is already the biggest star being positioned to have a match for the biggest title. That's what it is. It's not about creating someone new. It's about taking the biggest star possible and pushing them to the moon so that they to the moon, Mackenzie. Anyways, pushing to rocket them to WrestleMania. It's not about new stars. Never was.
I see how it is. Hater. Yeah, what about Raquel Gonzalez? Speaking of new stars, I mean, she's staring at Rhea Ripley. Looks like they're at a collision course. I'm kind of torn on this because here's a situation where I was on this bandwagon before there even was a bandwagon. I was telling everyone about Reina Gonzalez when she was in the Mae Young Classic, but I don't feel the leather-clad Big Mommy Cool is quite her. So I'm a fan. I'm kind of cooling off. What it seems the internet wrestling community is heating up on Raquel Gonzalez. So I want your opinion on this and be on the outside about her prospects here in NXT.
I can't wait to hear about how big of a fan of hers you are when she wins the title.
Oh yeah, I was a huge fan.
I can't wait for her to beat Io Shirai and have you go, "Oh, I'm such a big Raquel Gonzalez fan now that she's the champion." Just typical Flobo, waiting until she's the champion to run up in there and say, "My best friend Raquel Gonzalez."
I just said I was a fan back when she was wearing.
I just heard you say. What kind of chaps?
She had tights on, but she wore chats with a cowbell. I was a fan back then.
So I believe that she's the person. I think there's a very few people who I can say has a shot at beating Io Shirai. Io Shirai, one of the best wrestlers on the planet today. I think Raquel Gonzalez has what it takes. I said it last week. She has the raw strength. She has the power that it doesn't matter how fast or talented or skilled or experienced anyone is. Raquel Gonzalez can just smack them in the face and end it. I think Raquel Gonzalez is going to be the next women's champion. And then you're going to be her biggest fan. And you're going to tell me all about how you are always there for her.
I was there since day one. Gazi remembers. He's like, I forgot about the chaps. That's right, villain. She had chaps. Denim chaps. Denim cutaway chaps. And a cowbell and a rope. Before we get out of here, though, I got to talk to you about this Karrion Kross return. New Year's Eve. He'll be having a match with that Damian Priest fella. But before that, he had a match yesterday with Desmond Troy. Not the question of who won or who's going to lose was never in doubt. But I will say one of the problems I had with Kross before his injury was that he didn't look that dominant in his matches. He struggled a lot, even though he's supposed to be this otherworldly being. Was not the case last night. I think one of the most convincing wins I've seen in his NXT run. Jack Farmer, thoughts about the match?
I thought he looked dominant. I thought he looked great. I thought that he put to doubt any question that anyone could have about whether or not he could bounce back from this injury. I think if I'm Damian Priest, I'm calling in sick on New Year's Evil. If I'm Damian Priest, I'm trying to remind Champa, like, Champa, you should be in this match, not me. What are we doing? I'm trying to get out of there. I'm like, hey, Leon Ruff, if you don't want to be a joke, why don't you jump in here and do this for me instead? If I'm Damian Priest, I'm doing anything I can to stay away from Karrion Kross because nothing good comes from crossing the cross. And so he looked great. I think he looks like he's going to be the champion again in short order. And I think that the way things look, 2021 is going to be the year of Kross.
Couldn't stop with the puns. Can't stand you. Before we get out of here, it's now time for my favorite segment of the show. It's called the MVP of NXT, presented by Gamerware. Look, suit up and play on at Gamerware, GMRware.com. Use promo code FLOBO. That's me, FLOBO. For a discount. Jack Farmer, we've seen two shows, NXT and NXT UK. Who's one man or one woman or one tag team that stuck out for you the most?
To me today, I think that the MVP has to go to Kyle O'Reilly. He won a hard-fought match of the week match against a guy that does not take many L's, and he did it by fighting him on his own terms. He was bloody, he was beaten, he was beat up, and now he's getting a shot at the NXT title. I got to give it to Kyle O'Reilly. Great week for him this week.
also bloody and beat up Boa. No, I'm just kidding. My MVP is also Kyle O'Reilly. It takes a lot of hard work to go with a fresh version of the matchups they had before. There's that built-in long-term storytelling. You can go back to videos from like 16, 15, or 17 on the independent circuits or in NXT where Kyle O'Reilly calls him Peter Dune. It's hilarious, and it still pay off here. I love that kind of long-term storytelling. You don't get it a lot here in WWE, so when it does, it's like an extra treat for being loyal, like a Marvel movie. But it's about time to get out of here, man. This is Draped in Gold. Learn more about the show at drapedingold.com. We'll be back here next week. I understand it's Christmas Eve, but we'll be here live the same time, same place, and all of that. Jack Farmer, where can the world find you online?
JackCFarmer.com, at RealJackFarmer across all social media. You can also check me out at Anytime Radio, new episodes every Monday. You can also check me out on Elite of the Week every Wednesday. You can also check me out on the Everything Tournament. We're recording it in about an hour from now, so join that where we're going to talk all about Marvel stuff. And also check me out when we get back on the air, United Wrestling Network Primetime Live, doing interviews and fun stuff like that as well.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for Everything Tournament. I gotta go and change my wardrobe. You know how it is because I'm a diva like that. But until next Thursday, Jack, sing it!
Do your best and be yourself.